I know how much you listeners love when I talk about my family. Well, no, most of you do, which is nice. But I'm not going to talk about my grandkids. I'm going to talk about my daughter for a second. My daughter, Amy Cochran, is a BCBA, a board-certified behavioral analyst. That's state-of-the-art in the help and treatment of autism. And she works every day with families and with kids who deal with autism. Previously, April was always called Autism Awareness Month. That title has changed to Autism Acceptance Month. And I think it's a good way to make a change because people are aware of autism in a way they weren't in the past. Acceptance means accepting folks for their special gifts and what they can do. And Karen Train joins us now. Karen is the administrator of the Autism Parents of Illinois Facebook group and is going to have a very busy month getting the word out, along with her very busy life. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Nice to talk to you. Tell me about your boy, Charlie.
So I have a wonderful 10-year-old son named Charlie. He is nonverbal autistic. Around 1 year old, I realized that he was developing a little bit different than other kids. No eye contact, wasn't waving, was not talking at all. So I spoke up to my pediatrician, and we had him evaluated. At that time, they couldn't give us a 100% answer. They just told us he was speech and developmentally delayed. By age 3, he was diagnosed as being autistic. He is a wonderful child who, even without being able to speak, he communicates his world to us and his wonderful teachers and therapists. And he just brings such joy to the world. It's wonderful.
I completely get it, not just through my daughter's work in ABA therapy, but I also have an older brother with special needs who is certainly on the spectrum. And we grew up in a small town in the 60s and 70s, so there was no diagnosis for the spectrum. And there certainly weren't the ability to pull people together as you have in this group. So the group itself, I know you're teaching special ed, right?
I am. So this is my first year being a special education teacher. I spent 25 years in the business world, wasn't happy anymore. So I was 40 when I left it, wanted to do something I'd be passionate about. And I'm passionate about educating and advocating for children with special needs and families with special needs. So someone said to me, why don't you go into teaching? So I started off by being the most amazing position in the world, a paraprofessional. I love my paraprofessionals. They are my backbone and wonderful, so important. And then I got into a special master's program, and I am currently teaching in the northwest suburbs, children from 1st to 4th grade who are autistic and Down syndrome. And it's wonderful. I absolutely adore it and adore advocating for them.
And paraprofessionals are, for folks to have an understanding of that, there are those specific classroom assistants that work with kids, yes?
Yes. So there are teaching assistants. They're in the room. They're there to help the students and be, the ally for the teacher. It's actually Paraprofessional Week this week. So if your child is in a special ed classroom, please make sure you thank them for everything they do as well.
Well, let's thank them publicly. Thank them for all the work they do every day.
Yeah, Karen, the Facebook page is great. And on it, you say, in the autism community, there's a lot of extremists and a lot of misinformation. What's some of the misinformation? Where would you start in correcting some of that misinformation?
I think there is a lot of myths behind autism. Of course, one of the most controversial myths is vaccination. I believe everybody has a right to their opinion, and however they feel that their child got to where they got, that's for them to believe. However, I believe children who have autism are born that way.
Yeah, and let me just say too, because this is a hot button topic for me.
Yeah.
The vaccination piece was disproved in every possible way, and the person who put together that original study went away and should have gone away because it was criminal in what this individual did. And unfortunately, Jenny McCarthy ran with it because of her fame. It got a lot of traction. So I share your passion about parents deciding about their own children's future, but don't fold vaccines into this.
That's right. And you know what? I think the important thing for this page on Facebook, which is Autism Parents of Illinois, it's very, very important. For the most important piece about this page is that it's a support for families. No one is judged. No one is made to feel bad when they ask a question. There are many parents' pages you go on and you ask about something and people, kind of make you feel even worse about it. Whereas this page, which I do want to say, my friend is actually the administrator. She was unable to come on today. Her name is Joanne.
Joanne, nice work.
Yes. So she asked me to please come on for her. But this page is so wonderful, and it's partly due to the administrators because they are the first ones that when one of those hot button topics comes on to say, let's be respectful, let's only talk about things to support families. And these kind of pages are so important for families with children with autism or special needs because it is important they get the right information and the right help.
And you're talking to folks. You're talking to folks who've walked your walk when you're on this page, and that's the power of a group like this to understand what you're going through without judgment, as you said. What resources are out there, and the same. Now, I'd love to have you back before the end of the month, but let's wrap this segment up with you telling us things that folks say that maybe they mean well, maybe they're just being nosy. But, everybody's got their own stress in their lives as a parent, and you don't need to add to somebody's stress if you come across a child with autism who is acting differently. So what should people not say?
So the number one thing that I'm always said about my beautiful son is he doesn't look autistic. There is no look to autism.
Exactly.
It's a spectrum. The other thing I think is really important, and as you said, people mean well. They want to be supportive to you. Don't downplay that parent's frustration or sadness. So if a parent says, oh, my God, my son, I can't potty train him.
Right.
It's so horrible, and he's 8 years old. Don't say, oh, well, when my son was 3, we really had a hard time potty training him either.
Yeah.
Really being there to listen and to support them is what families need and want.
Well, I support you, and I know my daughter does, and everybody in the BCBA community who have to work, obviously, in concert with parents to get great outcomes. And I can just tell you, I've told the story before on the air, but one of the most amazing times for me, because I can't fully understand your world or what my daughter does every day with kids of all different abilities, but she worked for, I'd say, 2.5 weeks to potty train an 8-year-old, and she called me, and she sounded like it was Christmas morning because it was successful. And to have that level of patience and to be able to go through that process and to see it as the win that it was because you truly changed that youngster's life and the family's life, that's a huge deal. And it's those victories, while they may sound small, are gigantic. So thank you.
You said it perfectly.
Thank you to all the paraprofessionals. Also, thank you to all the therapists, the BCBAs, and everybody else in that world. And you'll be back. I appreciate your group. How do people find it on Facebook?
Just go on Facebook, type in Autism Parents of Illinois, and they'll have you answer a couple of questions, and you'll be ready to be supported.
Nice work. Keep it up, and have a good day at school today, Teach. It is Autism Acceptance Month. Let's all get better at it.